the larger issue about Putin's tax. That's really Putin's gas hike. That's his gas hike.
Another lie. Doesn't it make you so angry? The price of gas up more than 50% since Joe Biden took office, and the steady climb started months before Putin invaded Ukraine. I mean, let's talk facts here. That is a direct result of crappy, cost-prohibitive Biden policies, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Remember, he canceled construction of Keystone XL on day number 1. He removed sanctions on Nord Stream 2, allowing Putin to become a major energy supplier. And he's the guy who issued an executive order banning new drilling on federal land. Yet it's Putin's fault. I don't think so. Joe, Republican governors are fed up, rightfully so. They all should be, if anybody could actually be honest anymore. Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy is demanding Joe Biden remove those federal roadblocks to oil and gas production, writing in a press release this: a gallon of gas in Anaktuvik Pass is $9.95. Alaska is awash in energy, but not able to capitalize on it. Mr. President, we know you can help with this. We can produce oil at home with the highest of standards for environmental protection if you will simply let us. And Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy is joining me now. I'm so happy to have you here, sir. Welcome, welcome. I want to start with this because I don't know about you, but just even hearing her voice makes my hands shake. And this is what Jen Psaki said, which again is another lie. I want your take on the flip side, sir. Listen.
Nearly 60% of leased acres remain non-producing. That's a lot, in the range of 20 million acres. So there are 9,000 unused approved permits to drill in. That should not require us inviting them to do that. They should do that themselves.
Governor, talk to me.
Well, they need help in the permitting process. I mean, let's think about this for a second. If the producers lease these areas, they'd be producing now. This is what they want to do. But I can tell you firsthand that the federal government is making it very difficult to do business in this country, in the state of Alaska. They're not helping, and if they tell you otherwise, it's simply not the truth. For example, we engaged in a number of lawsuits early on in the Biden administration, for example, offshore oil that we joined Louisiana with.
Right.
And it's led by a Democratic governor, but nonetheless, it's a resource-producing state. We had ANWR leases sold as a result of a 2018 bill passed by Congress and supported by President Trump, and now the Biden administration is trying to kill those leases. Now, that's in law. We're not even talking about the agencies, but that's in law. And so the idea that they're fostering, helping, or otherwise supporting, it's simply not true. And if you ask any governor in any state that produces oil, they're going to tell you the same thing. And the issue is this: if we got started today, it may not help right at this moment, but I can tell you this is a warning shot across the bow, because if we're going to have to deal with these actors that don't support the United States, such as Putin, we're going to have problems way down the line, and it's going to be a lot worse than it is today.
Right on. And you do it now, and the clock starts ticking, and you're moving forward. What we're doing is nothing fast. We have a president who's pointing fingers. Sir, in your beautiful state, tell me about your natural resources there underneath the ground. How much do you have?
We have billions and billions and billions of barrels of oil, trillions of units of gas. We have tremendous amounts of rare earths, metals, and minerals. I mean, that's another thing. For example, we have resource plays, we have mining plays that are being questioned and in some cases halted because of federal action, agency action. And of course, you need these minerals to get to the whole new green world concept. And those too in Alaska are not being fostered, not being supported. So whether it's oil, whether it's gas, whether it's mining, and in Alaska, we have the largest national forest in the country. Whether it's timber, we have 1/7 of the country's timber, not being helped there either. So the federal government is really not supporting resource development in Alaska across the board. And I can tell you, it's going to be problematic for the people of the United States and our allies going forward. Because if we can't produce, if we can't harvest our timber, if we can't process our minerals and metals, I can only imagine what it's going to be like in a few years.
Sir, I have 30 seconds left, and I have a serious question for you because I think about this at night. It's like this administration wants us to suffer. What do you think?
I would say it's interesting because if you're going to ask the Iranians, the Venezuelans, and the Saudis and others to produce more oil, when you can do it here? You know, one has to ask the question, why are we being sanctioned by our own federal government? And that's how we feel in Alaska. We feel like we're being sanctioned across the board instead of supported in developing our resources.
Right on.
So they're going to have to answer to that.
I appreciate your time so much, Governor Dunleavy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.